In August 2003, the world gained access to a remarkable new voice, a blog written by a 24-year-old Iraqi woman living in Baghdad whose identity remained concealed for her own protection. Calling herself Riverbend, she offered searing eyewitness accounts of life in an occupied city, of neighbors whose homes are raided by US troops, whose relatives disappear into prisons, and whose children are kidnapped by money-hungry militias. For 4 years, she was a voice for the voiceless of Iraq, with thousands of loyal readers worldwide, who not only were now able to put a human face on war and occupation, but who came to care for her deeply as a friend. In 2007, she and her family were able to get safely to Syria, but she hasn't posted an entry since. And Dina Yazdani is 16 years old and a student at Lincoln High School. She hopes to someday join the international solidarity movement to raise awareness of the Palestinian struggle, and Dina will read a few entries from Riverbend's blog, which was titled Baghdad Burning.
These last few days have been explosive, literally. The sound seems to be coming from everywhere. I've gotten tired of running upstairs and out to the roof to find out where it's coming from. It feels like the first days of the war. Sometimes planes, explosions, bullets, smoke, roads cut off. Fallujah is still being destroyed, and the stories we hear are mixed. It's difficult to tell what's true and what isn't. All we know is that there are dozens of civilians being killed. They also say 18 Americans have died and over 100 are wounded. Mosul is also a mess. They're saying there isn't a tank or patrol car in sight in that city. Read more about the situation at Juancol. Would love to say more, but the generator is going to be turned off in a couple of minutes. Posted by River at 1:57, November 12, 2004. Saturday, January 22nd, 2005. Bleak Eid. It's the third day of Eid. Eid is the Islamic holiday and usually is a time for families to get together, eat, drink, and celebrate. Not this Eid. This Eid is unbearable. We managed a feeble gathering on the first day and no one was in a celebratory mood. There have been several explosions, some far and some near, but even those aren't as worrisome as the tension that is able to grow on a daily basis. There hasn't been a drop of water in the faucets for 6 days. 6 days. Even at the beginning of the occupation, when the water would disappear in the summer, there was always a trickle that would come from one of the pipes in the garden. Now even that is gone. We've been purchasing bottles of water, the price has gone up, to use for cooking and drinking. Forget about cleaning. It's really frustrating because everyone cleans house during Eid. It's like a part of the tradition. The days leading up to Eid are a frenzy of mops, brooms, dusting rags, and disinfectant. The cleaning makes one feel like there's a room for a fresh start. It's almost as if the house and its inhabitants are being reborn. Not this year. We're managing just enough water to rinse dishes with. To bathe, we have to try to make do with a few liters of water heated in pots on kerosene heaters. Water is like peace. You never really know just how valuable it is until someone takes it away. It's maddening to walk up to the sink, turn one of the faucets, and hear the pipes groan with nothing. The toilets don't function, the dishes sit piled up until two of us can manage to do them. One scrubbing and rinsing, and the other pouring the water. Why is this happening? Is it because of the electricity? If it is, we should at least be getting water a couple hours a day, like before. Is it some sort of collective punishment leading up to the elections? It's unbelievable. At first, I thought it was just our area, but I've been asking around and apparently almost all the areas, if not all, are suffering this drought. I'm sure people outside of the country are shaking their heads at the words collective punishment. No, Riverbend, they're saying, that's impossible. But anything is possible these days. People in many areas are being told that if they don't vote, Sunnis and Shia alike, the food and supply ration we're supposed to get monthly will be cut off. We've been getting these rations since the beginning of the 90s, and for many families, it's their main source of sustenance. What sort of democracy is it when you force people to go vote for someone or another they don't want? They say the borders are closed with Jordan and possibly Syria. I also heard yesterday that people aren't being led into Baghdad. They have American checkpoints on the main roads leading into the city, and they say that the cars are being turned back to wherever they came from. It's a bad situation, and things are looking very bleak at this point. It's amazing how as things get worse, you begin to require less and less. We have a saying for this in Iraq, "Ili yashuf ilma yirda bil ishkune," which means, if you see death, you settle for a fever. We've given up democracy, security, and even electricity. Just bring back the water. Posted by River at 4:19 p.m. Saturday, April 9th, 2005, the cruel month. Thousands were demonstrating today all over the country. Many areas in Baghdad were cut off today for security reasons and to accommodate the demonstrators. I suppose there were some Sunni demonstrators, but the large majority were actually Shia and the followers of al-Sadr. The weather is warm now. We often turn on the ceiling fan, or panka, in an attempt to move around this muggy air. April is a month of fresh beginnings all over the world, but in Iraq, April is not the best of months. April is a month of muggy warmth and air thick with dust and sand, and now of occupation. We opened the month with the dust storm and left the furniture in our houses sand-colored with an opaque layer of dust. We breathed dust, ate dust, and drank dust for a few days. The air is clearer now, but everything is looking a little bit diminished and dirty. It suits the mood. 2 years, and this occupation day once more. One wonders what has changed in this last year. The same faces of April 2004, but now they have different positions in April 2005. The chess pieces were moved around and adjusted, and everyone is getting tired of this game. Who was it that said April was a cruel month? They knew what they were talking about. Posted by River at 11:19 p.m.
All right.
Thank you, Gina.